After World War II, the talk with me at all.
I remember I had all this, like, I had the mustache going by the time I was 12 and in 6th grade, and I had, like, so much more arm hair, and other people had nothing, and they would just stare at me. I mean, they didn't really make any nicknames for me or anything, they weren't cruel, but I was definitely looked at differently, and people would ask, like, why do you have so much hair?
Who asked that? Okay, that's a little mean.
I'm Nick, I'm 18 years old, and I'm a teen editor at sexetcetera.org.
My mom didn't tell me anything about my period or sex until I actually got my period. So at that time it was kind of like, oh,
A little late.
All right, yeah, like you said, a little late. I'm Courtney, I'm 16 and I'm a teen editor of Sex Etc. magazine.
I mean, I got my period a lot quicker than the other girls in my class did, but nobody knows about that. I'm Anita, and I'm 16 too. We're both teen editors for Sex Etc.
Girls usually experience puberty between the ages of 7 and 13, although the average age is 10 and a half. For boys, they're a little bit older. It's usually between the ages of 9 and 14, though the average age there is age 11. My name is Michelle Hayner, and I am the co-author of 100% Me, a book about puberty and growing up. The first signs of puberty for girls, usually they begin to grow taller more quickly. They'll shoot right up. Their breasts start to grow. The area around their nipples gets bigger and darker. And they start to grow more body hair. For boys, usually their testicles become enlarged, their penis starts to lengthen, and also their voice boxes enlarge, which makes their voice deepen and also can lead to cracks in their voices.
It was about 2 years of up and down and voice cracking and all that fun stuff.
My friends were growing, they were getting taller. I found that I was looking up at all my friends and, you know, their breasts were growing and mine weren't growing. And I'm like, I'm the last one, you know.
I really tried to ignore it. I tried to ignore my mom telling me, okay, we need to shop for bras now. I tried to like ignore the periods, but it didn't work. And I ended up getting like really upset sometimes.
It can also be moody because there's so many hormone changes, definitely lends itself to moody behavior, mood swings. By the time your child is 8 years old, they really should know about the emotional and physical changes that they're going to go through, especially for girls, because some girls start to menstruate as early as age 9, and you don't want their first experience with that to be when it actually happens to them. Don't wait for them to ask you, especially with boys, because boys are less likely to come to their parents and want to have this conversation. So I think you need to take the initiative.
I kind of knew that puberty was coming because of what I learned in health class. So my parents kind of used health class as the puberty talk. So instead of them having to talk to me about puberty, they were like, okay, she has health class in school, she'll be fine.
I would feel comfortable talking with my mom. I didn't at first, but around the time I was 15, 16, we began to talk more. But it was tough when I first hit puberty. It was awkward. I wasn't secure with myself, and I didn't want to talk to her about it.
Another thing to talk to your children about when they're going through puberty is hygiene.
I had this one friend in like 5th or 6th grade, really early, like when everyone was kind of starting puberty, who gave a presentation in front of the class, and she was so nervous she started sweating. By the end of 2 minutes, her shirt was completely soaked, and it was somewhat gross. And we kind of had to tell her afterwards. We were like, it's time to start with the deodorant. She was like, this is where we start.
You know, they have more body hair now, their skin is oilier, you know, body odor becomes a big problem, and if they don't take care of that, if they don't bathe regularly, keep their face clean, you know, wash their hair, brush their teeth, they're gonna get made fun of. My body was awkward and my voice was awkward, and I just wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I was very self-conscious and very insecure. I think it's really crucial for parents to also talk about their own experiences with puberty, because I think that really helps the child to understand what's going on with their own bodies if they know that their mom and dad had a similar experience. It kind of led to me desperately seeking approval, but by middle school, I evened out a little bit more and I gained some self-confidence.
I was at a pool party and a girl was wearing a bikini and it was very narrow. And I just saw hair there and I was like, what is that? I had no idea what that was. And I was like, and then I remember asking my best friend, I was like, why does she have hair there? And my best friend was like, that's pubic hair. She's like, you don't have that? I'm like, no.
Parents should stress to their kids that everyone goes through puberty. No matter who you are, to get to adulthood, you have to go through puberty. And it may be rough for them now, and they may feel totally awkward about their the changing bodies, but someday those things that they feel awkward about, they may actually grow to love.